Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Right. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. I beat this the other day, Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. Not out in America yet, but we got it a few months early, so I had the pleasure of playing through it, and yeah. And some of you are thinking, Duck, I thought you were a bit lukewarm on Professor Layton. And you know what, you're right, but I wasn't about to go 5 games in and not play this one, you know, and even at the very least, you know, my expectations were slightly altered a bit so that I wouldn't be too disappointed. Well, it was the same as every other Layton game, except so much worse. So much worse. For those of you that don't know, okay, I've played all of these fucking games, alright? I don't have Miracle Mask with me right now. I lent it to someone. I even have this. This is awesome, okay? But as enjoyable as these games get, they get so stupid. They get so incredibly stupid. And it's usually at the end of the game. And when I get to the end of the game, I'm just like, I just want to bang my head against something. It's, oh, but you really just did that. And yeah, with Azran Legacy, I couldn't help but be annoyed the most about it, okay? This mostly amazing series is always ruined for me by these stupid moments, okay? So I thought, hey, top 10 dumbest moments in the Professor Layton series. I had it written down in like 5 minutes. It's that easy. So, with that said, here we go. Okay, number 10, admittingly, is definitely the weakest one, you know, but still I have to raise my eyebrow at it. And that was young Layton and Randall suddenly showing up at those ruins in Miracle Mask, okay? So yeah, they're cutting about, you know, Randall, in the past stories, like, oh, Layton, I've made this discovery, I'm gonna make my breakthrough, let's go travel and shit. And yeah, they get there. It's in the desert where Monte Dor will be in the future, I believe. And yeah, they're there. They're about to go on their adventure, all hunky dory. Yeah, they're 17 years old. Okay, they were just shown in a fucking village earlier, right? They go to school. They have school friends. He was getting shite off the teacher before he got there. How the fuck did the both of them get there? Are they no dog in the school to be there? Is their parents still worried about them? They're kind of biting off more than they can chew, you know, Hank. I mean, they just go in there, it's dangerous, and there's all these puzzles that of course, they can solve instantly. And yeah, I'm just like, even though the section, when you actually get there, it's quite fun, it actually kind of plays out like a dungeon crawler. I'm still like, isn't Monte Dor in another continent? Because it's all desert about here. I don't think there's any place like that in Great Britain, okay? It's just, I don't know. That was fucking weird. Yeah, next one. Okay, and for number 9, we have the reveal of the villain, okay? More specifically, when they whap off their disguise, alright? Don Palo, and then in the prequel trilogy, Descalé, always just go into disguise and reveal themselves at the last minute, okay? It's become a cliche. I guess some fans kind of like that. By the way, I thought it was hilarious because in Azran Legacy, when Descalé reveals himself finally, which I felt stupid about, I ain't gonna lie, because I should have seen that coming, but when Descalé reveals himself in Azran Legacy, he doesn't even get an anime cutscene. It's just his model spins around, then all of a sudden, bang, I'm Descalé. I got the cloak and everything on me now. Bet you didn't know that, did you? So yeah, they clearly knew that no one was going to be surprised about that. They just flung it in there. But what gets me is that Don Palo and Descalé are fucking cross-dressers. And they're fucking Clayface, okay? I mean, look at Flora, right? From the original trilogy. You know, quite young, you know, thin-looking lassie, you know, is probably, yeah, it's like that. And then you got Don Palo, who's like 70-year-old, I don't know. And how did he disguise himself as in the fucking Diabolical Box? How did he do that? That doesn't make any sense. He's thick and she's, I don't know. That's always dumb, you know. It's yeah, it's dumb. Okay, number 8 we have the Loch Ness Monster from the last Spectre. Okay, her real name was Lucia, I believe. Yeah, it was Lucia. And this is low on the list actually because the last Spectre as a whole was actually the least dumbest of the whole series, and therefore was actually my favourite. You know, there just wasn't that many, oh my god, sort of moments, you know. But regarding this creature, Lucia, I have to sort of call that into question, right? So, you have this monster who's attacking Luke's hometown, right? And he looks like a monster, it's all foggy, you can see his arms, he's destroying the towns. Turns out that was Lucia fighting off one of Don Palo's robots. That's one hell of a disguise. Well, mind you, Don Palo is the master of disguise, so I'm sure anything goes when he's a bit. And yeah, I'm just like, that's stupid. And also the fact that, you know, by the end of the game, this thing dies, okay? And he just dies. I don't know if it's a he or she. I don't care. It dies. Doesn't need to die. Just dies to get a fucking tear out of you. And so the Waynes can, like, cry in their awful anime-dubbed voices. And you're just watching it awkwardly. And then, oh, it got floated away. But, you know, like, I guess the thing I thought was most dumb about it was that it knew that the lassie, Luke's lassie friend, what the fuck was her name again? I don't know. But she was sick. She was dying. Not only does he know this creature know about this, but he knows how to cure her. He waited all this time before curing her into this garden of healing. Literally, it's a garden of healing. There's nothing special about it. They say it's like there's clean air or something and that's what heals her. And yeah, they just leave it at that. He gets into the garden of healing and he dies. I thought it was the garden of healing. Why is this thing suddenly there and he just dies? He just dies and floats away, all dramatic like. And it's the Garden of Healing. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, well, thing dies. Happy ending, because the lassie, who's a bitch for the majority of the game, like, lives, so that's cool, I guess. You needed someone to give Luke a peck on the cheek by the end of the game. So, yeah. Loch Ness Monster. Maybe it's this high on the list because Scottish pride here, but I don't know. Okay, and this next one... if there's any dumb moment in the Layton games that I quite like, it's this one, right? Because a bit of it is quite awesome. It's True Gentleman Luke from Eternal Diva, which is the animated film. The animated film is my favourite piece of Professor Layton media, okay? I think the series just works best as a film, you know? Not to say that the puzzle solving is entertaining, it's just, you know, the cutscenes themselves are so well done and so nice to watch that animated film obviously is kind of a match made in heaven, and they take full advantage of that. It works out really well, even though, let me see here, I was about to point out inconsistencies in Luke's dress code there, but I think actually that's not the case. I don't know. Anyway, that's the least of this game's worries when it comes to dumb moments. But yeah, there's a scene in there where the lassie, who is actually not the lassie, who is actually this other lassie, using this other lassie's body, is in fucking, like, is in trouble because Descalay had a big fucking robot that he doesn't use until the last minute. That happens a lot in these games, like, doesn't fucking use it until he goes mental. And Luke's saying to Professor Layton, I'll save her, Professor Layton, because I'm a true gentleman. And Layton just looks over him seriously and goes, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, you can, what, is he just gonna go over and, like, pull her up by the hand or something? No, he runs across the robot, Shadow of the Colossus style, dodging explosion, making stupid leaps all over the fucking place. I was playing Shadow of the Colossus music in my head when I was watching it, which was really hard to do because the track that accompanies this is actually really awesome. I'll maybe insert it somewhere in this video. But yeah, that right there, a perfect example of just absolute dumbness in this series. A fucking, how old is Luke? He can't even be like more than 10. And this is the prequel trilogy as well, so he's even younger. And he's running up this thing like Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, he's kicking ass and all that. Again, it is quite epic, but it's really dumb as well. At number 6, we have the ending of Miracle Mask. Okay, yeah, this one. So, the antagonist throughout most of Miracle Mask was this character called the Masked Gentleman. You know, he comes up, he just shows up, shit happens just because he's there. I don't know, we have no idea who he is because of the mask. Turns out it's Randall. Layton's childhood friend, and he comes back because he wants revenge or some shit because he got left in those ruins that he infiltrated when he was 17. He goes there and he falls, and of course we don't see him die because this is, you know, fiction and shit, and he comes back. But yeah, he comes back, he's all mad, he wants revenge. Nobody did a thing to him. Layton tried to save his life by, you know, grabbing his... But he just slept and died, you know, sadly. But he's mad at everybody. He's mad at his girlfriend. He's mad at his other best friend, Henry. He wants revenge on them. Makes no fucking sense. He's just doing it. I think they gave a bit of a reason as to why he was mad about it or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically he gets tricked and he's like, no, I'm going to have my revenge off these people that did nothing but care for me. But what I found especially weird about this was the fact that Henry, the other best friend, you know, not his main best friend, Layton was his main best friend, but then there's Henry, who's his other best friend, built all of Montedor just for him. Not only that, but his girlfriend who he was going to wait at 17, right, fucking waits for him, fakes a marriage with Henry, you know, and waits for them to come back so that she can be together with this guy who she was going out with in high school at the age of 17. That's Twilight shit right there, okay? Fucking all that commitment of love and stuff, and I don't know, I never saw Twilight, but it's dumb anyway. Fucking, I don't know, it's just the fact that all of this was for Randy, and he was a dick! Randall, sorry, was a fucking dick, and these two folk, his girlfriend and his other best friend, build a fucking town for him, which was his dream or something, waits for him, gives the whole town back to him when he comes back after destroying half of the fucking thing, and it's all hunky-dory. Layton goes back, he's the new mayor. Don't go any more fucking temples and die and come back pissed later, right? Because you're not gonna get that sort of treatment again. Okay, and number 5, oof. We are really getting dumb now. The ending of Curious Village. Everybody was a robot. Everybody was a robot in that village. Everybody was a perfectly engineered, fully functioning, like not in the uncanny valley at all, human being. For Layton and Luke couldn't tell a fucking difference. They were all robots, and yeah, they all liked puzzles, and it was just so stupid. Now, what was even stupider about this was the reason why this village was built, okay? This village was built to keep the Duke, I believe they refer to him as the Duke's treasure, to keep the treasure safe, right? And the treasure was gold and stuff, but it was also the golden apple. The golden apple turned out to be his actual daughter. And the reason he did all this, he died, he said, okay, make this village full of robots, keep my daughter in there, keep my treasure in there. The reason he did all this was that so someone would come over and prove their worth to take his daughter in and raise her as their own because they were the ones that solved all the puzzles, okay? There's a lot of intelligent evil people in this world. What if Descally just, oh, puzzles, there, I'm done. What, a girl? Oh. Okay. You see, and then they actually get into the room where all the gold is, and they give some stupid fucking explanation as to why, if they touch the gold, all the robots deactivate. I don't know what sort of technology that is. That's DARPA shit. It just happens. And, you know, Flora's like, oh no, don't touch it, I want everybody to live, even though they're fucking robots. But, a sort of thing I see people overlook, even people who agree that this is dumb, sort of overlook this, right? The Duke did all this to find someone worthy enough, someone he could trust enough, to look after his daughter, right? Well, what about that guy, the only human being in the village that looked after all the robots, you know? Who you ran into a few times and you saw him kidnapping people, because that was just him taking them away to repair them, you know? That guy spends his entire life maintaining this village, building these robots which are above anything DARPA can do. And he's doing them all because the Duke was his friend, you know? Why didn't the Duke just give his daughter and his treasure to this guy? He spent his whole life. He could be working for Apple or Microsoft or DARPA, making millions of dollars with these robots, but no, he spends his life in secret, never getting to meet Flora, never getting to spend a penny of the Duke's fucking treasure, waiting for some cunt that might not even come here to take the treasure and his daughter away, and what does he get in the end? He just stays there, maintaining these robots for no one, because he's got fuck all left to do. I feel really sorry for that guy. That guy, he's a good friend, you know? He did a lot for this dick of a Duke. Yeah, fucking Curious Village's ending. It started it all. It started it all. Oh, fuck, did it start it all. And abrupt jump cut. Framing's a bit different. Holy shit. Okay. Now, number... What the fuck number are we on? Yeah, it's number 4. Number 4 is the ending. It's going to be a short and sweet one, this one, and it warrants it, okay? Number 4 was the ending of Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box, where everyone was high. Luke and Layton get to this village. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. Dracula's castle is on the horizon, and of course it's filled with people. That wasn't there. Everybody was just high. There was gases that they inhaled, caused hallucinogenic effects. And yeah, it wasn't there. All the characters were just high. Maybe I'm not here right now. Maybe you're not there right now. You could be high. You don't know. You could just... Next number. Okay, now on to number 3, which is from Diabolical Box again, because it didn't just have 2 dumb moments at the end, oh, it had several. This was the stupid, dumb, fucking pregnant lassie, Sophia. Okay? Now a lot of you are thinking, what was wrong with her? Fucking... what was his name again? The vampire? Anton, that's it, right. Anton is the vampire in this game. He's like the final boss because he's a vampire. Turns out he's no a vampire that's like young. He's an old man. He was just fucking high and he thought he was young but he wasn't. And he becomes a vampire because he's pissed off because his wife Sophia, I think it was Sophia, leaves. Okay, leaves him. And the reason why she left was, Anton, I'm sorry, but there's someone else I love who needs me more right now. That's what she said to him! That's what she said to him. Now, granted, if a lassie said that to me, I probably wouldn't turn myself into a vampire, but I'd be pissed! I'd be pissed! But no, she was referring to her child. Anton's child. Anton's child! She fucking leaves when she's pregnant with his baby! She doesn't tell him! He goes crazy! She says... what was her reason again? I'm sorry I didn't tell you, Anton, because I knew it would be too hard on you or some shit like that. Too hard on him! Did you know what he did afterwards? He fucking turned into a vampire and did all this shit! Just because you left! You... Clive, and you told him, you more or less indirectly told him that you were in love with someone else. You didn't tell him about your fucking, you're in his fucking baby, you just left. You just left him to suffer, and all that stuff happens. Your fucking granddaughter, not your daughter for some reason, your granddaughter, I never got that, Katia, has to come back and tell him all this shit because she realized, you know what, I wanted to see the granddaughter and the grandmother on the deathbed, you know? The grandmother's lying there about to die. She's telling, you know, Katia all this shit. And Katia's just like, you told him that and You know, just slap her across the face or something, I don't know, because that's so dumb. All of that could have been avoided if she just told him she was carrying his baby. But no, she has to leave, she has to be dramatic, she has to get on a train and have her hair waving, you know, and be all anime and dramatic, and it's just so stupid, it's so stupid. We have 2 more to go here, people. 2 more to go. Oh god, here we go. Okay. Number 2 used to be number 1, obviously. I didn't think this could be topped, but my god, it got fucking topped. The number 2 dumbest moment in Professor Layton is Clive. Just Clive, just the character Clive, you know, just like that pregnant lassie Sophia, just Clive. So what does Clive do in Professor Layton in the Unwound future? Well, first thing he does is that he pretends to be from the future and dresses up as an older version of Luke. Okay, that's kind of interesting. You don't find out it's actually not the future until the very end. You find out that the future of London was actually underground in the sewers or something, even though there's a fully functioning sun. And yeah, it's I mean that right there is pretty dumb. But then we hear Clive's perspective of this all. Clive was caught up in this explosion which killed his parents, and he got taken in by this rich lassie and left a shitload of money to him. So what does he do with this money? He decides he wants his revenge on Professor Layton and builds a complete copy of London underneath the real London, hired actors, everything's finely detailed. You couldn't even do that in a lifetime. Not to mention you need the budget of like, how much money did this lassie leave him, okay? So yeah, he builds all that just to get under Layton's tits, you know, it's overkill there. And then Layton, through his normal bullshit interpretation, figures out it's not the future. So what does Clive do? He grabs Flora, takes her hostage, and just like Descalé, he has a big fucking robot just lying there, ready to rise up at any time and destroy all of London on the surface. Why didn't he use this in the first place? Why did he have to build a complete replica of London just to get under Professor Layton's tits, which he apparently saw through really easily? Why did he have to do all that? And it's just, and then, oh god, and then after you beat him, he tells you that he will gladly repent for his sins and that he is grateful to the Professor because the Professor was there when his parents died and was there for him, even though he also wanted revenge on him. It was the most nonsensical thing ever. What was this character's motivation? What did he hate Layton for? Why did he go about this plan in such an asinine way? He just does this shit and we are all supposed to accept it. It doesn't make any sense. That character made no sense. That plot twist made no sense. The fucking Unwound Future is an amazing game, but the last hour or so made no fucking sense. I don't care how teary-eyed you got when Layton took his hat off and said goodbye to his girlfriend, who was from the future or some shit, I don't know. I couldn't watch that scene properly, not after witnessing all that shit with Clive. I couldn't give a fuck what Layton's hair was like. I couldn't, because that was just so dumb. It was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in a game. That was until I played Azran Legacies. And the number 1 dumbest moment in Professor Layton, from Professor Layton and the Azran Legacies, was quite simply pointless plot twists. At the end of Azran Legacies, you know, the first sign of bullshit I saw was when Descalé suddenly revealed himself. You know, it's like, didn't even get an anime cutscene, he just reveals himself, you know. And I was like, haha, that's dumb, that's so Layton, whatever, you know. But then you get near the end. They're in, like, the final dungeon, if you will. And out of nowhere, Emmy betrays Professor Layton. puts a fucking bit of glass to Luke's neck. I'm just like, the fuck? Did you guys ever play Slide 4? You know, how pissed off were you when Penelope, they just decided to make her evil? That's how I felt with this, only a lot worse. It's like all of a sudden Emmy, who's been the good guy for 2 games in a film right now, is suddenly, she has this backstory with the main villain of it. There isn't a single thing indicating this in the past, okay? It's just there. It's just there, and you've got to accept it like it was implied all along. And it wasn't. It was dumb. Emmy just betrays you for nothing. Then you get a temporary team up with Professor Layton and Descalay, which is pretty cool. But Descalay and Luke are obviously not getting along. But then obviously, because this is fucking anime, Luke gets put in a dangerous position and Descalay sacrifices himself for him. Because, you know, anime. And he's lying there in Layton's arms. And, you know, I'm not thinking this is dumb. I'm like, this is cool. This is, you know, this is heavy stuff. And then Descalay reveals that he is Layton's brother. When I got to this part, I was sitting at work, okay? I was playing Professor Layton, my friend and co-worker was sitting next to me, just playing on his iPad. This cutscene comes on, you know, it's an anime cutscene, and talking about how they're brothers, you know, they're long-lost brothers and that he's dying in his arms, telling him this. My co-worker laughed his fucking arse off. He did not know a thing about Professor Layton. He's just watching that out of context and recognizing how cliche and bullshit and dumb it is, and, you know, just finding it hilarious. And me, who's invested in the story, invested in the characters, are looking at this and thinking, how the fuck can they even do that? You are literally going to scrape the bottom of the absolute fucking barrel and make these two rivals for all these games brothers? Really? They literally could have done anything there, and it would have been just as bad. They could have made, I don't know, they could have made Layton Descalay's son, or they could have made Layton... I'm sorry, I think we ran out again, you know. Immersion's ruined. This video is going to be so long. Right, where was I? Where was I getting all depressed at? Yes, the fucking... You know, it just comes out of nowhere. Literally nowhere. Just, I'm your brother. It doesn't mean anything, it's just there. Now, that was already so bad, you know. I mean, you know, showing a cutscene of Layton and Descalay as kids that Layton can't fucking remember. I don't care how young he was, I'm sure he wouldn't forget that. But right at the end of this, he also tells Layton about their father, which just happens to be the main bad guy in the other room. That's his father. From one ultimate cliche, literally, to another ultimate cliche. That was so bad. That was so bad. Now, the reason this is number 1, okay, is because I was enjoying this game so much, okay, up until this point, okay. This is the first Layton game where you actually sort of travel the world, and you go to 5 different continents, and they all have their own little mini-story, if you know what I mean, and setting, and characters, and they're all really interesting, you know? But then it ends on this stupidity. Okay, and again, this is the end of the series. There's going to be no more Layton game after this. That's it. I just felt like such a big slap in the face, you know? But I literally thought it couldn't get any dumber than Unwound Future, and it did. And bang. It does suck. You know, I'm just... I don't even want to talk about that fucking ending so much. But... okay, I guess I'll end it there. This was a pretty impromptu video, this. I hope you all got a few laughs out of it, you know, and it was... If you don't, just like, I gotta say, it was really good to just vent like this, because I keep these thoughts in here so much. I will close out with saying this. You know, I do like these games. I do. I've decided that now. It's just those endings that really annoy me so much. But I figured if a game can get me this emotional and I can still say I enjoy it, there's got to be something salvageable about it. I am still really looking forward to the crossover game with Phoenix Wright. I'm really hoping that it's Professor Layton in an Ace Attorney game and not Phoenix Wright in a Professor Layton game, because that would really piss me off, you know, if the story played out the same. You know, like, but Shu Takume is Wright in that game, who's the creator of Ace Attorney, so I'm sure it'll work out in the way I want it to, anyway. And I'll also say this. Professor Layton for Super Smash Bros. Brawl 4, or Super Smash Bros. 4, sorry. I think that would work. I think that would be awesome. I would love to see him in there. I really like these characters. I really like these games. I just don't really like the endings. That's all. So, yeah. That's that, guys. Yeah. This video is long. Thank you for staying here. See you after. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.